I'm live. Wow. Okay. Get off that. I hope my sound sounds good. I need to look and see what the heck I look like over here. All right. Yes. Good morning, party people. My name is George, and I am trying to figure out life in the fast lane. I just started my live stream, and good morning. Yes, if you don't know me, then you did not realize that I am hot and heavy working on getting a live stream going. Actually, just getting my YouTube thing going. This morning I am on a twisty bisty chair, which hopefully I don't sit here and twirl like a 5-year-old. But without further ado, let's get started. If anybody comes into the chat, I will definitely try and read and write and talk all at the same time. 3 things I don't know if I can do. So that's, now you know one thing you can do in a meeting to get me a little bit flustered. So anyways, I thought this was a really interesting article. 1 a.m. UTC, actually, let me go to date and time. I know this app, okay, 1 a.m. UTC. I should have done this before, right? So that would be, I hate Google. Man, oh man. 1 a.m. UTC would be 8 p.m. Okay. Hey, hello, welcome, Gaming Crypto. I was just sitting here actually going, oh my goodness, I'm giving away too much information. If you know me at all, you know I'm a little bit of a security scaredy cat. But let's get back to the news. So 1 a.m. UTC is the most volatile hour for Bitcoin. I thought this was a really interesting article, and it's based on a lot of research related to some Chinese research. I think they're Chinese researchers who were looking at, okay, when is Bitcoin most volatile? And the fact is 1 a.m. UTC is the most volatile. So if it's 1 a.m. on Friday, then it is 8 p.m. in Central Standard Time, which I thought was pretty interesting. That actually aligns really well with my own research. I always like to look at things around 7 o'clock. I think that in my own perspective, I'm always like 7 p.m. Central Time. That's when, yes, that's when, Asia's coming online, and you see the market all of a sudden do interesting things. So, just a heads up, they were saying in this article, researchers at crypto analytics firm Longhash have found that 1 a.m. UTC to be the hour of greatest volatility for Bitcoin over the past 2 years. 1 a.m. UTC has more daily highs and lows than any other hour of the day over a period from 2017 to 2019, according to the research released by Longhash on July 17th. Longhash research is based on crypto price archives from major American crypto exchanges and wallet service Coinbase. So from this, it seems like they're only paying attention to Coinbase, but they mention exchanges, so not just one. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And another time that I find very volatile myself is first thing in the morning here in the US. It seems around, between 6 and I have my own beliefs about what happens when in the market, but around 6 or 7 a.m. Central Time, things seem to get a little bit crazy as well. So those are 2 times that I really watch. And if I'm looking out for a dump, it's usually, I generally am looking at around 12 a.m. Central Time. So very interesting news. This I thought was very interesting. This was going in and out from Twitter. Weast Winds, I think I said that right. Weast Winds, who is the creator of the XRP tip bot, responded to BitTrue's birthday announcement and offered to help them set up a validator. Now, if you are involved in any of the, side chats that I'm involved with online, you know that the idea of setting up a validator is something that a lot of us are becoming more and more interested in. And because we want to secure the network. Everybody in the community, or if you're like me, you recognize that the progress that the Ripple team is making is beneficial to the entire XRP ecosystem, but the two things stand separate, right? Yes, Ripple is investing a lot of money to continue to enhance the XRP ledger, the XRPL, but at the same time, it's the validators who maintain the network and also determine whether or not transactions go through. And I think it was about a week ago, transactions on the Stellar network actually just completely stopped, and it was because they couldn't reach consensus. And having enough validators on the network who can validate transactions and make sure that the network is actually decentralized is key for all of us. So I thought this was an interesting offer that WeSwind put out there. For those of you that aren't watching right now, hello Jerry, good morning. For your birthday, BitTrue, for those who are just joining, BitTrue, for your birthday, I'll give you a video call answer and any questions your engineering team may have about setting up your own XRPL validator. And this became a pretty active thread. I myself actually also responded. Somebody on the thread mentioned, WeSwind, you should do that for everybody in the community. And it's something that I've been thinking about and researching myself. So I responded to that saying, I'm actually working on doing that, and I plan on putting out a video. So if you're interested in, participating in setting up your own XRP validator, XRPL validator, right? XRP ledger validator, then definitely leave a comment in the remarks of this video, and I'm going to try and configure something. It would be nice to do it online or as a streaming event so that as people run into issues, we can, solve them real time as I'm working on it on my computer. WeSwind has provided documentation on this in the past, and the estimation about the cost of running a validator are about $20. When I read that thread, it must have been a year ago now, that WeSwind had put out when I was doing more research on validators, I recognized that $20 wasn't a lot, and the instructions for getting it set up are pretty easy, but that prevents anybody from walking into, the major corporations and saying, you must stop everything. And then through that action, being able to block us from continuing to use the XRP ledger, because the XRP ledger is completely decentralized, right? And that is what I think is worth investing in. But it's not financial advice. I am definitely not smart on that. So let's keep going. All right, next up. Oh, Calibra Libra fiasco. This has to be my favorite topic of the week, actually, the Calibra Libra. There are a lot of things going on in the US right now, and a lot of them relate to migration of people of a Hispanic, or I don't even know what to say, but people coming from South America and Central America up through into the United States. So I find it really interesting that the one word that the US government is having to say on a regular basis in Senate hearings and, as they're talking, is Libra and Calibra and Calibra. Oh, Libra Calibra. So they're getting an opportunity to have this discussion while they're also having other discussions. And to me, with my funny sense of humor, I think it's just funny because it's a mix and mingle of a bunch of different issues. And Libra Calibra is a big problemo. And they're having a couple of problemos with, things that sound fun. So I thought this was a really interesting article that I found yesterday, July 18th. I probably will because I have so much fun with it, gaming crypto. So, if you can't beat them, right, or force them to stop, then try to, attack their friends, right? Don't hang out with him. He's not cool. He was mean to me. And that's what I feel like the U.S. government is trying, where the U.S. government or the global regulatory community is when it comes to Calibra. Because at this point, day 2 of the Senate hearings, which were, I believe, oh goodness, I believe they were on Wednesday. I haven't watched them all. I don't know, 2.5 hours of sitting there listening to talking heads try and use legalese to badger each other doesn't fit very well with me. Nonetheless, one of the interesting things is they try to get Facebook to completely cease development of the Libra solution, right? So stop developing your cryptocurrency, just completely stop until we can get the regulations in place. And the legal counsel for the Facebook Libra subsidiary, right? So not even fully embedded in the Facebook team, they're already off on their own. So already seeking out more shelter from what regulators could implement on Facebook. They're like, well, yeah, I think we need to work on this, and we plan on working with you with this, but we're not stopping. We won't release anything, but we're not going to stop. So I thought that was really interesting, and I think it is very interesting, because if they could get it to stop, then they could just say, okay, cool, now we have 2 years to work on regulations. But if Facebook and the Calibra group don't stop working on it, then there's always that threat that they're going to be pushing something to market at any time, that they will be ready when regulators put something in place, and maybe ahead of where regulators are in regards to their thinking. So it's really forcing regulators around the globe to think about the whole cryptocurrency space and how and what they plan on regulating. So fun ahead. All right. So next up, I thought this was really interesting. Wow, Bitcoin is legally protected in China. Today, the first property dispute case in Bitcoin finalized trial in a local Chinese court. The court confirmed that virtual property, a tribute of Bitcoin, recognized it as a virtual property with value. And this was put out by Dovin Wang, who... I see some flags over here. I see a Chinese flag, I see an American flag, and I see another flag. But, this was an interesting share. And the article that she's linked to here is actually Bitcoin declared legal commodity in China court. And I thought this was really interesting, because if you scroll down and they, it's awesome that they recognize her tweet. Nothing like news that recognizes tweets really makes me believe in the credibility, because I want my tweet recognized. But down here, like I said, they've recognized it as a legal commodity, but woohoo, maybe that's why I decided to include this, but woohoo. So the ruling was finally determined in a case that traces back several years regarding a property dispute between a buyer identified as Mr. Wu and the e-commerce platform Taobao and its FXBTC exchange, which shut down while in possession of the client's order in the platform's custody. The client was originally seeking compensation of 11,000 USD for the loss of 2,675 Bitcoins, and ... The plaintiff complained that he wasn't warned of the exchange's impending shutdown ... The court rejected the plaintiff's claims for compensation. However, due to lack of evidence connecting him to the account and associated property in question. So what this really means is he hadn't done KYC, probably, allegedly. I don't flippin' know. But if I can't trace back that you, Mr. Wu, own this, then it leads to, implications that he hadn't done KYC. And so speaking from personal experience, if you haven't done KYC and something gets hacked, then they're like, we don't know it's really you. Sorry, we keep in all of it. So, out of this entire court case, he lost his cryptocurrency. I'm sorry for Mr. Wu, but still, just because, this is also really big news, because finally Bitcoin is being recognized as a legal commodity in China. Now, that's really interesting because, exchanging or selling Bitcoin in China is not allowed, but you're allowed to hold it. So, this is progress, this is change, this is speaking to regulatory clarity for people around the globe. So I thought it was something that you might want to know about. Okay, so gaming crypto, my dear friend out here, it's doing two things for sure, putting both Facebook and crypto in the crosshairs of the public view. Oh my goodness, you are 1000% right. Libra Calibra, what is this? I want some. Nothing like people wanting to buy, a piece of a white paper. Yay, I want a piece of a white paper. Create a token for that. I think somebody should create a token for the Facebook Libra Calibra white paper. That would be off the chain, right? So moving on, someone just bought 20,000 ETH tokens on Binance. So this is interesting. Like, I didn't know that CZ was out there tracking how much I bought. I know he doesn't really care what I buy because I buy like nothing. But, this whale has bought roughly 300,000 ETH over the past several weeks. And, they talk about the type of trade, a prop bid, right? So I guess why this caught the attention of CZ and his team is because they were looking at the buy order for 15,000 ETH as being a prop bid. Somebody just putting a price out there trying to drive the market only to then remove the bid and then watch the market go in the other direction. And when that didn't happen, when the order started to get filled, then they were like, holy cow, this is a big buy, and probably went into doing analysis of the account. So I think it's really interesting, I don't know. I can't believe that somebody has enough money just sitting around on the Binance exchange to buy 20,000 ETH tokens all at once. Like, oh my goodness. Like, seriously. Like, just leave your money on the exchange. Enough to buy 20,000 ETH tokens. That's what I'm thinking about doing every other day. Yeah, no kidding, right? Like, I got about 300,000 ETH. It's nothing, I think I might go buy a couple more today. Golly gee. So, I have to make a call out to Bob Moneybags, who can be found at Fake Coin Expert on Twitter. You should follow him. You should also follow Gaming Crypto XRP, my friend and fellow compatriot. So I was listening to actually the Modern Investor yesterday, and he was talking about the Face app, and going, that's what I said halfway through when he was like, this Face app, and I didn't qualify this. I just heard it and then decided, like, that's real news. I heard it on the internet. It must be real. So, it's true. So, when he was talking about the Face app and how that's trending, and really paralleled that with Libra Calibra. And I thought, that video was really insightful. And he just pulled together a lot of different things. And I just went, yep, I knew it. But, his comments about the Face app were interesting, because what he was talking about is the fact that, there's an app that's trending that has become really popular, and people are downloading it and people are doing things with it. And like this gentleman, Mr. Bob Moneybags, who just turned 25, and crypto is making me look like 80. In order to create a picture that demonstrates what you would look like at 80, you provide a picture of you at your current age. From that point, it's uploaded to their server. They do some image processing. Thus, the picture is saved there. And then they produce a picture of you at 80. There's nothing saying that they aren't saving both of those pictures. And I was like, crypto investor hunters, right? But in all honesty, the idea that somebody has a picture of what you look like today and then what you would look like, at some point in the future, that's not something that has been consolidated. And as we get into more of, as AI, automation, and surveillance continue to, become larger influences in our daily life, having information like this is really, really interesting. So I went through and, mind check, where are all the places, that my picture has been altered like this. And I was really happy that somebody else had used the Face app to put my picture in, and it wasn't me. So it's not tied specifically to, my mobile identifiers. So maybe they won't know it's me. I'm hopeful. But nonetheless, it's interesting that I said it in the jungle when we were looking at all those pictures of men in bikinis. Oh, did I say that out loud? Men in bikinis? Yeah, that might be something I might like. If they're hot and have a belly, gotta have that belly jiggle with that wiggle. So, good morning, boo boo. But just I want to dive into this deeper. Not here, not today, because work loves me. I'm on time for my life, at least. But we need to be mindful of where we're distributing our information, and the way that the modern investor put it together is, Facebook has an opportunity to create anything that trends, and when it trends big. So it'll be interesting, and I think I've said this, but when the Facebook launches Libra, which I have full belief that they will launch something. If they don't launch Libra, believe me, there will be another token that's created and fully backed by Facebook, but doesn't have Facebook anywhere near it, right? Like, they're in some dark room going, why did we even tell them it's us? We could have just marketed somebody else's coin on our site and it would have been us. But they can make anything trend within their global community. And as soon as people can, save money or will get, street cred because of this, that, or the other, they are in their hook, line, and sinker. Who doesn't like a sale, and who doesn't like to be recognized for their amazingness, like my friend Boo Boo, who is amazing. So moving on, enough about Bob. Gosh, Bob, I just want you to know Bob's life matters. So this was an interesting article. I didn't go into it for any specific reason. I really don't give two nickels about the pins token, but there's people in the crypto space who don't recognize how amazing it is that this isn't recognized. That cryptocurrencies are not recognized as securities or as emerging companies. I don't know the specific word I'm looking for, but if you want to be an investor that's investing in a startup early, an angel investor, you need to qualify as an accredited investor here in the States. So when I was working on my startup, I just fiddle with things and move things around. I still see myself, so I hope you can too. But we were out trying to attract investors, small investors who were willing to give us money to just continue working on our solution. And that's what, forced my migration to San Francisco, was to do more fundraising. But to that end, to qualify as an investor who would be able to legally invest in my startup without being family and friends qualifier, an accredited investor, and I'm going to read this, an accredited investor is an individual must have a personal net worth in excess of 1 million, or together with a spouse have a joint net worth of excess of 1 million. Alternatively, to be an accredited investor, a person must have an individual income of in excess of $200,000 in each of the 2 most recent years preceding the investment, or joint income with that person's spouse in excess of $300,000 in each of those years, and have a reasonable expectation of reaching the same income level in the current year. So this is really interesting because I moved to San Francisco in the 2012, and at that point they had just changed the laws in regards to how home, the value in your home was associated with this accredited investing. And I believe, if I recall correctly, that it was no longer deemed as part of it, because previously, investors in early stage startups in the California Silicon Valley area had viewed, the house was viewed as that. So these, high value homes in the San Francisco Silicon Valley area could be used to enable somebody to invest, but that law had changed it, that now you just had to have capital or investments. And, I thought this was interesting because I don't think a lot of people realize how, the emerging of the cryptocurrency digital asset space has enabled us, and the creation of this token, right? This Chuck E. Cheese thing that you can just go and invest in, has enabled us to invest in ideas, solutions, innovations that we would not have been able to invest in before 2009, right? Let's go with Bitcoin starting date. But, before people really started, pushing these tokens, these opportunities as a way to fundraise for ideas that they and their community thought were worth investing in. And, this is one way that governments have kept, low-level investors from, getting involved and pushing forward strategies that those who have money don't think are profitable. So, if you wanted to invest in a water filter and it really served your community well, somebody couldn't really go door to door and say, hey, I have this idea and I want to invest, I want to, make this possible. Now, I don't understand the rules behind Kickstarter and those other things where you're able to just buy in, but if you look at the way those things are structured, it's a promise to pay in the future in most cases, right? For this money that you're putting forward, you'll get a shiny little happy face on our website and, a big that boy for investing in this, or you get early access to this product, or you will get this product at a reduced price. So there's an expectation of return. You're like prepaying for something, and somewhere in their terms and conditions, they have disqualified the rule of requiring that payment come within, a set period, and have extended that based on, the timelines of the startup. So I thought this was really interesting and something that people in the community might not recognize, but that's something to cheer about today. Happy Friday, my friends. And, oh yes, in other important news, I don't know if you recognize, but it has been almost 24 hours since Leon, okay, here we go with the name, Leon 462945550. If you have any Bitcoin, then you might be mindful when you follow this guy, because he's going to tell you to dump it. But it's been about 24 hours since his last tweet of let's dump Bitcoin, doom and gloom, watch out, they're coming for your Bitcoins, it's going to be worth nothing, drop it all, invest in XRP, oh my goodness, the sky is falling. But this guy is amazing. I love interacting with him about Bitcoin. And like I said, it's been about 24 hours, so I don't know. I think somebody might have given him a pill or something. But what is happening with Bitcoin? As I mentioned in yesterday's stream, Bitcoin and XRP during the weekend meltdown, XRP went down, and there were, doom and gloom comments out there. It's going to 16 cents. It didn't go to 16 cents though, right? It stayed within a pretty tight range. And once we hit our low mark, we didn't even hit the lowest point that we had hit in December 2018, early 2019. We maintained, right in that range. It didn't go, but everything else was in a free fall. And I think it has a lot to do with what's going on, in the overarching market in regards to regulations. I'm not sure if any of you guys have caught it, but I think that Sam Ian did a really good video late night yesterday, and in regards to, okay, what's going on and why. For me, it was really like, I think a lot of people in the space are like, why am I holding on to this stable coin, right? You look at XRP and you're like, it's a stable coin. It doesn't move. Everything else is moving. Why is this staying here? They have so much good news, right? And I think Sam's video last night is really good for just reminding you of all the things that have happened historically that just point to success for this. So bye, Jerry. Have a good one. I'm still trying to read and talk at the same time, but have a great one, Jerry. Thanks for joining. Leon hasn't tweeted in almost an hour. Let's see if he can hit 24 hours. Moving on, this is something else that I got from Leon's thread, which is XRP Men shared this, and Leon liked or retweeted it. And, as I was just mentioning, it's easy to be like, why aren't we moving? Like, what's going on? Did I make a bad investment? Do I really know what's going on? Have I been hoodwinked by a bear? Have I been hoodwinked by a bear? Am I just falling for all the hoopla and hopium that's going around? And I honestly don't feel that I am, because as this tweet indicates, a picture says 1,000 words. And here you can see Steve Mnuchin, the U.S. Secretary of Finance, his face blown up. He's sitting right there, front and center, with a big smile on his face, right? So it's like, do they know about, XRP? Do they know about Ripple and what they're trying to do? Everybody here has to, because Christine Lagarde hasn't shut up about it. So, you have to assume if you're in the same room with her, then you've heard about her view of the future and what you should be doing with distributed ledger technology. So moving on. This was something that came up yesterday. The thing that I saw yesterday was, U.S. government to apply tariffs on France if they move forward with taxes on big tech companies. And then late day yesterday, the G7 agreed to tax big tech and cut Libra no slack. And I just want to, keep this really short, but the group of seven, the G7, the group of seven finance ministers and central banks said digital currencies need to be closely regulated so that they don't disrupt the global financial system. Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire of France, which holds the current presidency of the G7, top world economics, said that the group opposes giving companies the same privilege as nations when it comes to creating payment methods without being subject to any control and obligations. And then down here, the G7 also agreed that large tech companies, including Google, Amazon, Facebook, or Apple, can be taxed in the countries in which they make... Oh goodness, zoom out, thank you. I couldn't read that, sorry. Okay, so the G7 also agreed that large tech companies, including Google, Amazon, Facebook, or Apple, can be taxed in the countries in which they make money, but do not have to have a physical presence. They also agreed that there should be a minimum level of tax so that companies don't engage in a race to the bottom to attract businesses from digital multinationals. So, this really speaks to the fact that, for example, Jerry had just mentioned that Facebook and WhatsApp are king in Latin America. They're king in a ton of different countries. I found some stats on that the other day, and it's awesome the amount of messages that go out on WhatsApp on a daily basis. And they have 1.7 billion users, right? And I use WhatsApp for communicating with people on the other side of the globe and even locally. So, the fact that the company doesn't have to be physically present in order to be taxed in that country is definitely going to have a dampening effect on Facebook and other US-based tech companies. So I thought that was interesting that these two things are coming together and really commingling, the fact of taxing, because this is something where American companies have just had a free ride, and it's being coupled with, trying to limit their ability to getting engaged in the cryptocurrency space. So moving on, more on this. Treasury Secretary, U.S. will police cryptocurrencies. You go, Mnuchin. You go. You police some Bitcoin. And this always, comments like this always remind me of an anthill, right? If you're going to take out an anthill, you need something to deal with it. I think you can use hot water, but you're going to be covered in ants. They're going to go everywhere. It's very hard to control, and they come from everywhere. They go from everywhere. You cut off one path and they just go over it in that area, but at the same time they're going around it. And so I think this is going to be really interesting because, as the U.S. Secretary Steve Mnuchin said, his department will use very, very strong regulations to ensure that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies don't become the equivalent of a Swiss numbered bank account. And my thought on this is okay, how do you do that, right? It's peer to peer. How are you going to do this? And I think 2018 was really the year of KYC, and I don't know how anybody can get into the cryptocurrency space today without doing their KYC. So everybody who buys Bitcoin going forward, let's just talk going forward, will have KYC done, and they will not have numbered bank accounts, numbered Swiss bank accounts. But for anybody that was in this space and has bought digital assets prior to that who did not do KYC, you're going to have a difficult time tracking that. And a lot of those early adopters, they especially in Bitcoin, use one address to send Bitcoins. And so I think it's going to be really interesting, especially as different teams work to include privacy, and the governments of the world can't say something about digital assets without everybody watching. So it's a watched area. It'll be difficult for them to roll out technology that already isn't in place without people being aware and already putting on a defense to work around it. Now, don't get me wrong. They have tools. They have tools. They are tracking. They are teaching tax people how to track and find people that are evading taxes regarding profits that they make in cryptocurrency. So don't, just because the different digital assets are continuing to become more evasive in the account holder's identity, doesn't mean that you should skirt your responsibilities for paying taxes. But I think this is going to be a very difficult thing for the government to do for people who have been in the space before they start to implement the regulations, right? So my suggestion, if they wanted to listen to me, would be, try to work with them, as Brad Garlinghouse, is known to say, better to get in the middle of, my own quote, better to get in the middle of the boat and try to change things than trying to do it from the outside. And, I really wish that the governments around the globe were really working side by side with people, the inventors in the cryptocurrency space to try and change things, because they'd have a lot more insight and they would be able to, implement legislation that would have a positive impact. And if they wanted to come down with a strong hand, they would know where and how to do it. But at this point, they're playing whack-a-mole, right? I see this problem, whack that. Well, it comes up over here in 3 different places. So I'm just having a difficult time with the way they're doing things. Sales tax on system is my suggestion. I don't understand how that would work, right? I'm thinking, it's a difficult topic. It's because I really think I need coffee for this. I need to let my brain think for a second. Yeah, I'm interested in hearing what you think about that, because from my perspective, I think that if I convert my hard-earned cash using cash, right, into a gift card, there is no tax on that. The fact that the value can increase of something that I bought, and then you're taxing me on it, capital gains because I held on to the gift card, I don't think is the right approach. So I think that, purchasing of crypto or digital assets should be viewed similarly to gift cards, right? Just to keep it uber simple, super simple, only on tax revenue. But are you talking about taxable income gaming crypto, right? Like your comment says, sales tax only system is my suggestion. I pay tax on my income, so why should I invest? So why tax me if I invest it and get gains? That's exactly my perspective, Boo Boo. I think that if I bought, like, I already got taxed before. If I go and buy something now with, my digital assets, right? I got taxed on my income. I have the product right now. I go and buy a gift card, or I go and buy a digital asset, or I go and buy traveler's checks, or I go and buy, something that an equivalent, something that I think that I'll use to do an exchange later, then I don't think I should be taxed on that. I should be taxed when I go to sell it. Or I'm sorry, I should be taxed when I go to spend it, right? And as you're saying, Boo Boo, Germany, Portugal, Liechtenstein, Malta, all free. I totally agree. Like, I think they have it right, because those states should be taxing for providing me with amazing services. Great beaches, chairs on the beach. I don't know if any of you know, but Boo Boo is, exploring beaches, I believe, somewhere in maybe the south of France, or somewhere beautiful. Let's just go with that, right? For when you provide me services in an area, then I want to be taxed, right? Taxation is an interesting conversation. I was home with my family, at the beginning of July, and my father was like, "Here you are in the south of France." I knew where you were. I just didn't know if you wanted people to know, so I didn't want to say it. So yes, Boo Boo is in the south of France, like sending us all of these amazing pictures of her on the beach, just having fun, and the weather is amazing. She's on Mount Pelier. Mount Pelier. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sure I've butchered it, but I think we should be taxed I think we should be taxed on buying goods and services. I don't think we should be taxed on crypto. So, the more restrictive that they come in different places, the more that they're forcing people out of that location into other areas, right? I think this is going to become really interesting depending on how the U.S. implements this, because the U.S. through their FATF laws, or is it FATF? FATF, it is FATF, right? That foreign banks need to report back what monies you have in their accounts, and anything over, I believe it's either 100 or 150. I'm not a tax advisor. I'm not a lawyer. Go talk to one of those people if you really want to know what to do. But any value over, let's say, $150,000, you will be taxed in the U.S. for having money in that account, right? So it's really interesting because Americans are subject to double taxation, and FATF. I fill out their reports so they don't come after me. And you're right, Boo Boo. The big question that people will have to deal with is whether or not to give up residency, and there's a lot of people around the globe or a lot of places around the globe where you're only allowed to be a citizen of one location. So if the rules, opportunities, and beauty of a place, right, or safety is another key thing, is better in one place, and you've got all this all this wealth, and America is double taxing you for being there and contributing to that economy, where are you going to be, and are you going to maintain your American citizenship? I think that's going to be a really interesting thing as we move forward and baby boomers start to look for places to retire, because a lot of them will stay here in the United States. Nonetheless, it's really expensive, and healthcare is really, really expensive. And I don't like to diminish anybody's opportunity to maintain their own security and privacy, but there's a lot of people that are moving into South and Central America just because of health insurance. And the number of people that go down there to have teeth work done on their teeth, or a butt lift, or a kachunga lift, or whatever, you know what I mean? It's because it's cheaper. And so when the system there is better than the United States, and it's safe. Why maintain your U.S. citizenship if you never come back? I think we're in a really interesting time. I think the next 10 years is going to be extremely interesting. So before I ramble on anymore, I think I'm about a half hour. Oh, that was nothing. But let's go to Boo Boo's stream. Boo Boo. Let's see where she is. I'm sure there's pictures of her out. Oh, no. Oh, there's no pictures. I thought there were pictures of you on the beach. I saw some. Ah, dang. Okay, gaming crypto. Gaming crypto. I'm going to your stream. I'm going to see if I can find anything interesting. Oh, the HODL report. Now, gaming crypto, you're not the HODL report. I know it's a different channel, but you support the HODL report. Oh, okay. Well, you guys, I am extremely happy you came. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. So I'm trying to get my stream going, I think, because I'm a Canadian that is too polite. I think I'm going to go for the morning time and, start my day with you guys. Just trying to tap into what's going on, provide my own perspective on it. I wake up and I'm like, oh my goodness, the sky is falling. The sky is falling. Oh my goodness. And I like to laugh. I get a good laugh. The morning time is often when I watch a lot of different streams. And my entire daily, spiritual routine is in the morning. So it's really shuffling it around. But this is a time that isn't claimed by anybody. Yes, it is James' channel. But I am in and out, and I've only been around for a little while. There's the people that I know and really, really trust. And, Boo Boo, RTB, Ferdy, Connie, Bones, Malpass. I'm a pretty, I keep my good friends close, and because of those people, and the fact that they trust all the people in, Jungle, and XRP Zoo, then I've expanded out and I'm talking to more people. But I can't even figure out when people are streaming. But I have a solution for that. I have a solution finder over here. So I have a question for you guys, though. I hear that yesterday the idea of running a validator came up, and I have a couple different things that I have in my cooker right now that I'm trying to sort of work on. I have one innovative thought that I have to pull some information together for. I have to pull together, chiseling information for my friend Kickboy and myself. But people are talking validators. What do you guys think about having a live stream for helping people understand how to get a validator up and running? Boo Boo, I want to hear from you. Please. And also you, Gaming Crypto. I don't even know if anybody else is out here. In other things, I can't fit. There's 3 people watching. Am I watching? I might be watching myself. I don't think I am, but I bought a monitor. So, well, you guys haven't responded to my question. I take that as I don't know. Yes, Gaming Crypto covering his ears over here. So, for anybody who watches this video later, I have 2 people that I think you should follow. One is Gaming Crypto XRP, who seems to be up and up, and he seems to be plugged into what's going on in the community. He actually retweeted a tweet about my stuff that was posted by Jungle Inc. Thank you very much, Jungle. Nordic Ann, another really trustworthy person in the XRP community. I'm thinking about doing a live stream. I want to get a validator going. I have 2 different methods for getting a validator going. Of course, most won't run 1-1. And I had a conversation with Sifu about that yesterday as well. If Malpass, I love Malpass. If Malpass would love it, then I'm going to do it. Because I think it's something that we need. And I previously did a live stream about Coil, about how to get it set up, condensed it into about an hour, showed it. And, for people that were having problems, I helped them along. And then, I got some questions through DM afterwards, and people were really excited about it, and, were able to get to start earning, XRP because they had Coil implemented on their website. And that's one of the things I'd like to help our community with, is really just helping people to better understand some of the technology, but phooey on that ooey right now, because I'm just trying to, grow the confidence to start being out here on a regular basis, talking to you guys, having a relationship, and putting myself out there, right? Some would say she has low self-esteem. Others would say she's a chicken shit. And and I'm learning you too. There's a delay between what I say and what Boo Boo hears. So I have so much to learn, in all honesty. And I wish I could invest in Coil as well, gaming crypto. So I think I'm going to do that as my gift to the XRP community. I actually have a solution. I was thinking, when Sifu brought this up yesterday, he was like, yeah, people are talking about starting a validator. I want to run a validator, I'm on the road. And I was like, I think it's a good idea. And he's like, yeah, but most people won't. And I'm like, yeah, true. Most people should vote, and they don't. People live here, and, most people should, keep the bathroom clean, and they don't. Like, you can't think about what most people should do. Instead, we need to focus on what we do, right? Be the change that you want to be in the world, and worry about that, because that's enough work right there. So in closing, I'll get off my soapbox. I am going back to Boo Boo's channel, and I think you should follow Boo Boo. And I am following her. Okay. Whew, I thought it said I didn't follow her. But Boo Boo, a great friend of mine, a friend that I've had for months and months and months. When I was going through a breakup, Boo Boo was there, and we maintained our contact. We actually got down and actually had a conversation when it was all going on, and she was such an awesome moral support for me. So if you're not following Gaming Crypto, definitely follow him, Gaming Crypto, XRP, and XRP Boo Boo. Two great people in the XRP community that I hope that you will take an opportunity to follow. And in closing, I just want to say thank you so much for joining, you guys. As I said a couple minutes ago, I'm really working on putting myself out there. This might not have been my best stream, but I am flipping streaming, bitches. I am out here. So world, you better watch out, because this is what you get when I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So it can only get better from here. So I look forward to holding down the morning time. Anybody else that thinks they should start streaming in the morning, bravo. Just know I am not moving. I am here, and I need to figure out how to wake up earlier. But I love it, and I look forward to having good conversation and really connecting with people around the globe, and really plugging in with people that are usually not able to attend streams because it's far too late for them when we're having them here in the US. So I would really love to hear what you guys want to hear about. I'd love some honest feedback on what I can do better, because I am going to improve, and it's going to be exponential. So if you want to, have positive impact on the channel, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think would be innovative and unique and helpful, and I will work on that. Maybe, I do have personal choice. And if you have any shit comments about me, that's all I have to say. Just move on. I don't have time for you, and I won't be responding to negative stuff. I will just either block your ass, or, I don't know, cry in a corner. Oh goodness, I'm so hurt. Or maybe I'll have some words for you. I am a happy-go-lucky person that likes to laugh, so maybe we'll laugh at your tweets. That would be a lot of fun. So I look forward to hanging out with you guys. Gaming Crypto, Boo Boo, honestly, I'm so grateful that you came today. yeah, what an intimate chat. And I actually learned how to read and talk at the same time. I love you both, and I hope you have a great day. Happy Friday. Boo boo, get your booty on the beach if you're not there. I love you. Mwah. Bye. All right. And I got a monitor. Oh, I can't leave yet. I got a monitor. So you won't get to see me do this anymore. Yes, you're here for the early phases. And if anybody needs help figuring out how to set up OBS, let me know. I will definitely help. But you get to watch me stop my stream. Bye.